Hey, what's going on? So I kind of tried to hold off from making the first video. I didn't really know how I wanted to do it, mainly because I didn't have the software. I'm recording off my phone, as you can see. I'm in my car. Um, it's about like six something at night, but winter. Um, the reason why I'm making this video is mainly because I've been seeing a lot of things like out on TV, hearing it in music, things like that, and I feel like there's not a lot of people that are speaking out about what's going on, for a lot of reasons. Like for money reasons, they don't want to mess with the money they have, the position that they have. They don't want to mess that up. Um, you know, they might lose some friends, things like that. But that's part of what built the society that we have and made it so comfortable for us to live right now. Um, so as you could probably tell, like the name of my channel, it's called Last Leaders. The reason why I made that was because I feel like it's like the last of the Mohicans, kind of like you, the last leaders. Like there's no real leaders in our generation, really. Like the leaders that we have are they're they're artists, they're actors, actresses, things like that, and I don't even sports athletes like those types of people, but they're under contract to be as vocal as up to a certain point. Like they can't say everything that they really feel, or they saying what they're saying inside their houses, or what they're saying behind closed doors when they're at somebody else's house or something like that. When they're in the car leaving a function, and what they really feel, because it damages their brand. And I feel like even though, they do work hard, they don't work harder than any other person out here, but they have a bigger platform than we do to actually go out and say, this is wrong, that is wrong, we should hear the facts or hear some statistics or anything like that. They're not saying things like this because it messes up their brand and it could hinder the money that they have coming in. And so that puts, and to each their own, but if that's going to happen, you need people that are going to stand out and say something else that, people aren't afraid to say, or that people are afraid to say, I'm sorry, because that's how things start to change, and society advances on so many different levels. Like, I feel like my generation is so complacent and so comfortable where we're at, and we everything is just like, if it's comfortable for me and I want to do this, so it's my life, I could be able to do what I want. And I feel like that damages a lot of what we want to do, or what we can do positively for the future. Because if everybody is, it's about me, I deserve to live how I want to live, who are you to tell me what I can and can't do? Me personally, I feel like it wasn't that way back in the day. Like, yeah, you had people that did that. Like, yeah, this is my life. Who are you to tell me what to do? But it wasn't how we have it now. Like, it's reckless. People don't want to listen. There's no accountability. There's no discipleship. There's no big brother, big sister. There's none of that out here for people to turn to and get guidance from or get disciplined by. Like, there's none of that. So, and I'm sure you could pretty much draw a parallel. That'll be another video, but you could pretty much draw some parallels to a lot of things that are going on within the country in certain urban areas, um, within certain schools, a whole bunch of different places. And I just feel like the way we're going, I'm I'm scared for my age group and my generation right now. I really don't even know what it would be like for the generation that's to come after me. Like, I really have no idea what that looks like, because you have Jesse Jackson, you have Al Sharpton, you have these people, that people for, and I don't agree with everything that they say, that they say or that they do. I don't. But you're not going to agree with everything that everybody does. You might not agree with everything that your spouse does, but you still see them for them. And I feel like that's just an example, but I feel like that's the same kind of thing with uh with like some of the older leaders that we have. There's nobody stepping up into the new shoes um that they set, that people like Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman and also the people set out. Like there's a lot of room there's a lot of room in those shoes, but somebody has to fill those. Like you can't just talk and expect people to listen to you, and that's the only thing you're going to be doing. We need people on the out in the streets. We need those people to be marching and people praying and people singing and block, like forming barricades and all this other stuff to cause a stir, to get people to watch and listen and think about certain things. But for the most part, we need people that are going to be, we need figureheads. That's what we need. And I'm not talking about Eric Gardner specifically. I'm not talking about Trayvon Martin, however you feel about that situation, like, or any of the other people that just as that have gotten done wrong by. I'm not even speaking just about that. I'm speaking about in general. Like, if we're talking about, I'll give you a perfect example. If you want to talk about the over sexualization of certain things, like the fact that I'm even bringing it up, there's somebody that would probably see this and say, you know what, I don't even really like what he's saying, what he's talking about right now. Like I make money off that, off sex selling and things like that. I make money off that, so I'm not gonna say anything about it. But at the same time, it comes to a point, like, just as how you have capitalism isn't focused on morality. It's not focused on, like, there's conscious capitalism. That's something for a different video. But there's a whole bunch of imagery and like things that people listen to, and a whole bunch of things that doesn't need to be advertised and pushed as heavy as it does. Like after a certain point, like you gotta really think about, like, what are we really listening to? What are we putting our energy and our time and our money in? Like, and a lot of the people that are buying into it, a lot of the people are getting hurt by it, and they may not seem like that in the right, like off firsthand, but still, we need to try and get an opposite view and try to like talk about the real things that need to happen. Like, there doesn't need to be an over sexualization of women out here. It really doesn't. Like, the fact that I can go online and at any given moment see a side pop-up bar of like a half naked woman, like, and I'm not knocking, like, I'm not lingerie or anything like that, because it's underwear at the end of the day. But just saying, like, I don't need to see that if I'm gonna go like watch a movie, or if I'm gonna go on Facebook or something like that. I don't need to see that, but it's everywhere, and it's not just there. And I'm just using that as an example, but that's more of a video for a later time that we can get deeper into. I really want just the core focus of my channel to really be about like things of substance, like, and so a place where we could talk about a lot of things that go on in the country that people are not really talking about, and at least not to this level. And I want to focus on the ideas and the implementation and how to go about implementing those things into our society, because like I said before, I'm really scared for where my generation is going and the next generation, especially if we don't have any leaders stepping up and doing different things. One of the reasons why people think Tupac is so real, it wasn't to be real. Like, aside, like, take some of his deeper stuff away, a lot of the things that he was talking about in terms of, like, talking about Hit 'Em Up and Ambitions as a Rider, like all these other like great songs people listen to, all that was reinforced by the fact that he lived what he rapped about. Like, again, I'm just using him as an example, but if he was like a rapper that you see today that says it on record and does something else, like is not really about that. You see them, in person, they're not talking how they talk on the record. Tupac really talked like that, but he was about something deeper and he was about action. And that's why a lot of people gave him respect. And I gave him respect just on a social activist level. I give him complete respect because he was about that. And a lot of people nowadays, they talk about it in interviews briefly. They talk about like a whole bunch of different things, in their records, and it sounds great, but where's the action at? There's really no action. Like, you going to visit a site is not really gonna help you. It's not really gonna help anybody. Like, it's gonna help you to understand certain things, but it's not really gonna help you to help the people that you're around that can be affected by what you're doing. Like, and I think that's the part where one of the parts where we're lacking at is the fact that we have no real implementation or understanding of how to go about certain things. And just to kind of backtrack, one of the reasons why I felt like this video this channel needs to be different is because I hear a lot of people going about, like, saying certain things in comments and talking about certain things in videos that it just takes away from the real issues that we need to deal with, like accountability and respect and morality and and justice. Like, these things need to be talked about, but because there's trolls and people want to get their news from one side but don't want to listen to the other side, like, we need to come to a place where you could draw comparisons to everybody. We need to come to a place where you could sit down and I could sit down and we could have an open dialogue about things like that, about, the issues that are going on, and without somebody calling me a name or, shutting me out just because I may believe something different. That's not how things get settled. That's not at all how things get settled, and peace comes about. It's really not. I see a lot of people, I've been seeing it for a while. Like, I had these thoughts to make a channel for like probably about 2 years now, and I just didn't. But I've been seeing a lot of people just now starting to come out and say there's, like, this person was a real leader. I don't know who's leading our generation, or, you were, stop being a slave, or you need to try to come out and get out of the mindset that you're in. You're trapped in the matrix. I've been seeing people online, like, saying a lot of things like that in terms of their video, popular people in their interviews. And I'm just thinking, like, all right, but that's great, but where are the leaders at? Like, you have people following your videos, have 50,000 per clip, or, you have such and such amount of followers on Twitter and YouTube and things like that. You should be using that time to go out and cause some change. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you could put a video out saying this, and then the next time we see you're doing something that feeds into that culture that is actually hurting us. Like, that's the reason why I don't really I don't judge off the first time I see you. I judge when I look at your character over time. And I'm not expecting anybody to look at this video and say, you're the most perfect person in the world, or you're speaking truth or anything like that, because there's people that can go really in depth in one video, and this video's been on for 14 minutes, and people could probably do a lot better job than I can, but that's not even the issue. The issue is that I'm putting this video out to attract those people that want to talk about things that are important. Not just like, okay, what about the Iraq war, or our president, or President Barack, or, how much people dislike him or love him or anything like that. I'm not even talking about just those topics. I'm talking about everything. So this is just the main video. This is the intro video of why I started my channel. Just because I feel like I'm one of the last people that actually wants to talk about certain things that can cause some change. And I'm open to it. I'm very open to it. This is a long time long time in the making that I've been wanting to make this video. So I apologize for the long video. I apologize for the stuttering or the pauses or anything like that were in here. If you like the video, like and subscribe. I'm going to try to put out more that's more structured and edited over time. So just bear with me. If you like it, share it too, please. Leave a comment, something like that, so we can get some conversation going. I'm going to try to put out a video a week, maybe 2 videos a week, so we could talk and have some open discussion. Anything that's on your mind, just leave it. So, all right, peace, guys.